All right, we are back, and it's an exciting game right now with the Eagles and the Chiefs. We got D Nasty talk some fantasy. Dave, how's it going?
Good. I'm ready for some Thanksgiving this week. A little turkey this week, a little turkey and football. You can't go wrong with that. Always my favorite time of the year. Sit on the couch and watch some football and eat some turkey, man. I love it.
Me too, man. Me too. And now this Chiefs game is getting. Hold on a second. There's a little bit of an echo here. Let me fix that. Here we are. So, yeah, I mean, now there's a holding penalty. Uh-oh. This is getting dicey, and I'm up by like 0.4 points, and he's got Mahomes, and I got Swift, so it's not looking good with this holding penalty, Dave.
Yeah, it's not looking good for you. I hate to say it. I need the Eagles to get the ball back and throw a couple passes to Devontae Smith so I can win in one of my leagues. But yes, good games on Thanksgiving this year. The Packers Detroit Lions is going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch that game, and hopefully the Packers can pull one out there.
Well, Niners Seahawks is one of them. That's a big one. And then there's some pretty big favorites actually this week. It's almost like kind of weird. You got an 11-point favorite with the Cowboys over the Washington. There's no Bills this week. That was last year. And then you have Detroit minus 7.5 against your Packers. Ugh, that's a nasty spread. That's the exact spread the Bears had last week. What's going on with that? The Packers as bad as the Bears? Is that what happened?
I don't know.
Oh man, but it's the Niners are only 6.5 at the Sequax, so it looks like Gino's probably going to play that game and maybe make it somewhat interesting. I'm excited to see it, but we'll see. Then you got the Dolphins and the Jets on Friday, the first Black Friday game of the week, and so get your fantasy lineups in like Wednesday night because this stuff's rolling, ain't it, dude?
Oh, exactly. And if you go out for Wednesday night and do that celebratory drinks before Thanksgiving, you definitely want to get your lineups in, which I will be doing because I'm going to go out and have a few drinks. I probably will forget to set my lineup. So definitely set them Wednesday before I go out.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Well, Chiefs or the Eagles are punting, and Swift just caught a pass, but not going to really move the needle here. So it's not looking good unless somehow the Chiefs go 4-0. That's never going to happen for one of my leagues. But either way, no bye weeks this week, is there?
There is no bye weeks this week, which is pretty surprising, which is kind of nice, though. There will be a couple more bye weeks coming up, but no byes this week, actually. So we got a full slate of games this week.
All right, plenty to choose from. Let's get into our key injuries then. And obviously the biggest and the saddest one of the week, starting from Thursday Night Football, Dave, Joe Burrow, man, hurts his hand, wrist actually, and is out for the season. Torn ligament in his wrist. And I think it was probably hurt before that, but I think it just got worse from that fall, Dave.
Well, it was controversial because they did have a video of him coming into the game with a wrist splint kind of like brace on. And the cameras caught it, but then they quickly deleted it. So it is interesting that he wasn't on the injury report. And then
and then he called it compression, like the sleeve. And it's like, seriously, dude. Really?
That was no compression sleeve. You could see the picture of it. It definitely was not. But anyways, it's too bad. I'm a big Joe Burrow fan, so it's definitely sad to see him get hurt and go down.
Well, if you're a Mark Andrews fan, same game, man. He broke something in his foot, so. He's out as well. He was a big player of the Ravens, and that's a nasty one as well. Just from that Thursday night game, he lost two key fantasy guys, one of the top tight ends and one of the top quarterbacks, so that was brutal. Running back Kenneth Walker, he had an oblique injury, so he's a little bit suspect here. He might play coming on Thursday. We'll see. Deontay Foreman from the Bears injured his back. He's going to be day-to-day and possibly miss a week. Aaron Jones has a knee injury, but they said they escaped something major unless you know more about Aaron Jones.
I haven't heard anything more on him, no. But actually, Deontay Foreman I had as an ankle injury.
Okay, ankle injury. So still a little bit worried about that. And Cooper Kupp, he's got an ankle injury as well. So he's going to be questionable for coming up for his next game for the Rams against the Cardinals. Running back Devon Achane hurt his knee again, but he possibly can come back. I guess it wasn't as bad as what it was before, but it was the same knee that he injured. And I have Geno Smith. he came back into the game with hurt triceps, but you never know what's going to happen, once the adrenaline stops, Dave.
Yeah, definitely. And then Sam Howell had a concussion, but he did return. So just keep an eye on that with him. Zach Wilson was benched. Tim Boyle will start this week. So definitely get Zach Wilson out of your lineups if you were starting him. Hopefully you were not. Wide receiver Darius Slayton, who it's finally one of his best games this year, injured his arm, and he was ruled out for the rest of the game. So that's a major blow to them. Joey Bosa for IDP people out there. Foot, it looked like a pretty nasty injury. He was in a lot of pain during the Packer game. He was marked out. Devondre Campbell, another big IDP guy with a stinger, he left the game. And then Kazir White, who's actually been having a big year for the Cardinals, left with an elbow injury as well. So just a couple key IDP guys there as well.
Yeah, that is pretty. There's a lot of defensive injuries for IDP. So yeah, it is certainly concerning in that front. Why don't you get into our waiver wire, Dave? Who are we picking up?
All right, great. Well, the first one's going to be, of course, AJ Dillon. With him and with Jones going down and Emmanuel Wilson, their other backup running back, AJ Dillon was the only running back playing in this game that was healthy. So AJ Dillon is going to be by default the biggest pickup of the week, one of the biggest pickups of the week.
Isn't he owned by a lot of people though?
He's a backup though, so I don't think he is owned. That he's less than 50% owned in most leagues, it says here. So definitely, you want to definitely take a look at picking him up. Zach Carbonet for the Seahawks. For the Hawks, he's going to be another big pickup this week. Him and AJ Dillon are going to be your two biggest pickups of the week. Actually, he had a decent game too. After Kenny Walker left, he had 15 rushes for 47 yards and 6 receptions for 22 receiving yards. So he's definitely be the bell cow if Walker is out this week. And with those oblique injuries, those can be kind of tricky. That could be a multiple week absence for him, or he could return this week. You never know. But I'm leaning towards that when Major League Baseball players have it, usually it's at least a couple weeks, so if not more. So we'll wait and see on that. But definitely, Zach's going to be the guy you want to grab from the Seahawks, and AJ Dillon from the Packers. Both are under 50% owned and not being started right now. So definitely pick up both of those guys. Roscoe Johnson for the Foreman injury. Khalil Herbert was back. He had 35 yards on 16 carries, which is not very efficient. So Roscoe Johnson will get some carries as well this week if Foreman is out this week. So you definitely want to pick him up. Another Packer that had a great week and who has actually been coming out in the last couple of weeks, Jaden Reed for the Packers. He had a nice fantasy week this past week. He had a touchdown or 80 yards receiving in 4 of the 5 his last games. He had 3 rushing attempts and he turned that into 46 yards and a touchdown. And he's had a 14% target rate since the bye. So definitely trying to get him the ball. You can see they do have some plays set up for him now too as well. So definitely guy you want to be targeting for this week if you have any injuries that crept into your lineup. Another guy is Zaire Likely. He's the guy you want to pick up to replace Mark Andrews. Last year when Mark Andrews was hurt, he was a beast. He had quite a few good games last year when Andrews was out. He only had a couple targets this past week and didn't convert on either one of them. But I do look for him to have big games going forward with Andrews out.
Yeah, he's likely going to be the top.
Yes.
Oh, that was bad. I agree with all those. I have those down. I added Jaden Reed, so thank you for that. Jake Browning for the Burrow injury. It's not like something you want to do, but there might be a time where you can get it to Jamar Chase, and if T. Higgins comes back soon, so.
And actually Drew Lock too as well. If Geno Smith doesn't play, you definitely want to have your handcuff for Geno Smith. So Drew Lock is another guy, and Tim Boyle. So those are 2 other quarterbacks I didn't really talk about, but you want to definitely pick up Drew Lock and definitely Tim Boyle. If he has a good start, he could get the starting gig going forward until Eric Rodgers returns. I know.
What about the ties? Ty Chandler and Ty Johnson. Ty Chandler might take more carries now for Alexander Madison because Madison had that nasty fumble in the game, and man,
he had one of his best outputs of the year though. He had 81 yards and he had a majority of the carries too still. So he was still the bell cow in that game. He was the primary ball carrier, I should say, not the bell cow, but the primary ball carrier. So I don't think he lost his job. I actually had one of his best games other than the fumble. But definitely the fumble does play into that as well.
Yeah, totally. And then Ty Johnson was big for Buffalo last week, caught a touchdown and everything. He's getting more playing time, so that's interesting. Odell Beckham gets a bump with Mark Andrews out a little bit too, I said. And so I like Odell Beckham. Ooh, man. Just missed a big pass. Wow. That was.
Oh, he dropped it.
Mahomes tried it. Yeah, he was wide open there. That was for the win, possibly. Ooh, that was 3rd and 10. Rondale Moore actually did pretty well for the Cardinals, and now that you got a better quarterback maybe throwing, and Kyler Murray, I don't know how much better Kyler Murray is at throwing it than Dobbs. He is somewhat better. He knows the offense, I guess, more, I would expect.
I definitely think Kyle Murray's definitely a better passer, but Dobbs is probably actually a better rusher and better scrambler, I think, than Murray actually is.
That's weird because you always think of Murray as a scrambler, right? So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I just think that Rondale Moore should be owned a little bit more than 28% in some of these leagues. Tommy DeVito, I mean, to be honest with you, he's throwing some touchdowns every season. He's got like more touchdowns than the starting quarterbacks for the
Giants.
For the Giants. Thank you. Sorry, I was
Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones. He's got more than both of them actually.
Yep, exactly. So I found that interesting, and wow, it's just it's interesting with how they beat the crap out of the Washington Commanders. It was just so ugly, just the ugliest game of the week, but it was there.
And that was a shocker. I couldn't believe that they pulled that up. But DeVito did look good. He's got the Jersey juice, baby.
There you go. And that's who I have. So a lot of the same ones you have, though, for sure. Charbonnet for Walker and all that. Non-starters trending up for week 12. Miami's defense against the Jets. I know you said pick up Boyle, but I would rather fade the hell out of it. And if there's Miami's defense available, you should be starting them. I know they've had some bad games, but I like Miami's defense. Quarterback Gardner Minshew should be able to throw against Tampa. You can't run against Tampa, but you can throw against Tampa, so that's interesting. Running back Najee Harris versus the Bengals defense is on this week. You might have benched him because they were so bad lately, but maybe this would be a great time to start him. Wide receiver Brandon Cooks versus Washington is a hot commodity. I think the rest of the Cowboys might be resting a little bit too, and those throw to Cooks. They'll beat up the Washington. And how Dallas is, they're a bully, and everyone gets fantasy points.
Oh
yeah. Josh Dobbs versus the Bears, probably got to play him. Bears defense still bad against the pass and choke the games away like they did last week. Don't even get me started, man.
Oh man, their second biggest.
It's never happened. Positive 3 turnover margin up 12. It's never happened. KJ Osborne versus the Bears is also hot. It'd be nice if Jefferson's coming back, but a lot of people think they're going to wait till after the bye next week. So,
which makes sense. You definitely want to get him healthy. He's your star player, so you don't want to definitely rush him back. And he said he wasn't going to come back until he was 100% healthy either. So it just makes sense.
It makes sense. It's just a bummer. Running back Devery Henderson versus the Cardinals has a nice matchup this week. I like that.
Yeah, but Royce Freeman, though, because Royce Freeman got a majority of the carries this past week. So that's something to keep an eye on there.
That was weird, too, yeah. But Devery played. Maybe he was banged up. I don't know. They're kind of doing a little bit of a timeshare. Baker Mayfield. I think he's got a good matchup against the Colts. So you gotta like that. Oh, Chiefs just threw another incomplete pass. Wow. Looks like the Eagles are going to take this game. Interesting. Quarterback Tommy DeVito versus the Patriots could do okay if you're desperate. I'm not saying start him over any of the top.
Jersey juice.
But a lot of times, if you drafted Aaron Rodgers and Anthony Richardson, right? And like you had that bad luck, and all of a sudden now you got more bad luck this week from Deshaun Watson, maybe you had him. You're going to have to just kind of pick your poison. I'm in a league where I had a couple of those guys, and I'm just kind of switching them off every week, and it sucks. But that's just life of fantasy football sometimes. And then running back Ty Chandler versus the Bears is going to be good, I think, too. And he'll get more carries than you think. Who are your trending up, Dave?
I like Elijah Mitchell against Seattle. I think Frisco could be up big in that game, especially if Geno Smith doesn't play. So I like Elijah Mitchell to get some carries in that game and possibly have a great game. And I do like the Brandon Cooks one. I do like Jordan Love this week. He had his first 300-yard game. Detroit's defense has been giving up quite a few points these last couple weeks. They don't really have that good of a pass defense. So Aiden Hutchinson's kind of has been in a slump the last couple weeks for sack wise. He hasn't really gotten any sacks lately. So I like Jordan Love this week, and I do like Jaden Reed too. He's actually coming on too. I like both those guys this week. I do like Derek Carr if he is back this week against Atlanta's defense. That's a nice matchup there. I do like Najee Harris too, especially with Kenny Pickett struggling in the last couple weeks. I like that matchup. I like Will Levis against Carolina's D. Carolina's just a mess right now, and I think they have the next Ryan Leaf or Zach Wilson and Bryce Young possibly. But time will tell on that though. Still, but they're definitely kicking themselves for not taking Stroud still there though. But we'll see what happens with that. But I do like Tennessee this week against them. DeAndre Hopkins and Will Levis. I like that matchup against Carolina. Like you said, I like Baker Mayfield against the Colts. I do like that matchup. I do like Gardner Minshew too against the Tampa Bay D. Like you said, they do give up quite a few passing yards, but they are tough against the run. I like Danny DeVito. I meant Tommy DeVito, not Danny DeVito, but I do like DeVito, the Jersey Juice against the New England Patriots this week. I like that matchup for them. I do like Cleveland against Denver. Dorian Thompson, I like him against Denver. Denver's been playing better defense lately, but they still are prone to give up quite a few points. So I think Thompson could have his first breakout game as a rookie this year against them. I do like Matt Stafford against the Arizona Cardinals. That's a nice matchup for him this week. We'll definitely Tutu Atwell maybe possibly as well. With Kupp being injured, there might be a guy you want to look at on waivers as well if Kupp is out. If he does not play, because Puka is still banged up a little bit there too. So we'll see about that. I do like Gus Edwards. He's been on a roll of just scoring touchdown after touchdown the last couple of weeks. I like him. Definitely against that Los Angeles Chargers defense. Their defense has been struggling, as you can tell when the Packers beat them. Definitely. I do like you said, quite a few different Minnesota got people against the Bears porous defense. I like Joshua Dobbs, and I do like Osborne. I like that pick too, like you said. And Hawkinson should have a field day against Chicago as well. But he's being started already. But definitely Joshua Dobbs and Osborne. I definitely like those picks.
For sure, yeah, definitely starting. All right, good stuff. Well, let's move into your bus, Dave. Who are your bus?
All right, one of my busts is going to be anyone on Washington's D. Dallas's D just looks dominant right now. DeRon Bland with his 4th touchdown of the season. It's probably more than some receivers and running backs have right now than the whole entire year. But Dallas's D is pretty dominant. Not starting anyone on Washington right now. I'm downgrading Howell of both receivers, Brian Robinson. I don't like any of those guys against that.
Can Howell do this twice in a row, though? It's like, yeah, it's such a bad game, and then are you going to do it again? Probably. It's against Dallas.
I don't know. He's actually bounced back pretty well when he's had a bad game this year. He's been a little inconsistent, but he's bounced back. As a
dog, they've done well. I mean, they played the Eagles really good both games, right? It's just weird. They should have beat the Eagles that second time, and they just choked it away. Though that's how they do. They choke. Yeah, I agree with you though. I have Brian Robinson as that too. So keep going.
All right. And then another one I don't like. I don't like the Seattle against San Francisco. San Francisco D has been pretty dominant since they've gone Chase Young, came off the bye. Brock Purdy's rolling right now too as well. Definitely downgrading Seattle, especially if Geno does play. I don't like him this week. That's that tough matchup for him. And I don't like DK Metcalf or Lockett against that tough San Francisco D either. Definitely downgrading them. Downgrading the Miami running backs this week. I know Mostert is your boy, and Sean too as well. I like both of those running backs, but not this week against the Jets. Jets have a good D. Hopefully they'll be able to score some points this week and make it a game on Black Friday. It's only the game to watch on Friday, so hopefully it's a good game. We'll see about that though. And then I'm downgrading C.J. Stroud actually this week against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got a better defense than most people think. I don't like that matchup for him this week. He showed his true colors last week and threw some interceptions finally. I think he struggles again this week possibly. Denver, I'm definitely downgrading them. Cleveland's D is just legit. They're definitely a top 3 defense probably right now. It was pretty surprising coming in this year, and I think that defense was not going to be that good, but they are. They're the real deal. Russell Wilson, Cortland Sutton, Javonte Williams, downgrading all of them against that tough Cleveland D. They were giving them, I think, some of the least points that allowed in the league, so definitely downgrading them. Kansas City's defense too. Actually, I like them, especially after losing tonight. They're going to have something to prove against Vegas. Starting a rookie quarterback too. I don't like that matchup for them. And then That's about it, actually. And I'd say actually Buffalo, I'm downgrading them slightly against Philadelphia. Philadelphia has a pretty good D as well. Josh Allen has struggled the last couple of weeks with turnovers, or this whole year with turnovers. So I could see him not having that great of a game and having quite a few turnovers. So I'm downgrading him possibly a little bit as well.
100%, my friend. I have a lot of those too, especially the people playing Cleveland. I have, Russell Wilson, David Njoku, Javonte Williams. I don't like any of those. Williams, you might have to start, but it's not going to be pretty. I mean, maybe there's a 10-team league where you have something better. Brian Robinson versus Cowboys D for sure. Justin Herbert versus the Ravens. I don't like that. Ravens are just.
I even think, yeah, that's a good one. Definitely a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Herbert actually struggles in the bigger games, it seems like, too. So I definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily downgrade Eckler, but man, you downgrade him, but you wouldn't take him out. But man, Herbert for sure. And they're just hurting right now for receivers. And now Joey Bosa's out. It could be just a mess spinning away. I'm going to say Aiden O'Connell versus the Chiefs D. The Chiefs D is still very good.
Yes,
it was a hard fought game. And Aiden O'Connell, yeah, I just think he's going to bust this week. Bad. Running back Zach Charbonnet, even though he might be starting this week, you got to downgrade him versus the 49ers D this week. I don't like his matchup either. And anybody on Seattle is really suspect right now to start. So that's my bust, Dave. But now let's move into our nasty sleeper. Whew, I'm going to let you go first. And then I'm going to come up with, I think I have one I'm going to use. Go ahead.
All right. I hate to say it, but this guy's been rolling. He could be the comeback player of the year. I'm going with Joshua Dobbs against the Chicago Bears. Great matchup for them.
Another
Dobbs
one against the Bears. Jeez.
I know. I hate to do it, but that's the guy I like. Dobbs has been balling, man, lately. He's been doing it against good teams, too, the last couple of weeks. They should have won this past week, but they had a heartbreaker. But, hey, that's who I'm going with this week. I like Joshua Dobbs as my D-Nasty sleeper to help you win this week.
All right. I'm going to go Jerome Ford against the Denver Broncos. I still don't believe in Denver. And if they should have lost that game against the Vikings, 3-0 turnover ratio. The Vikings were just completely in that game still. Denver's just getting by with smoke and mirrors right now. I just think they're BS. And Ford and Kareem Hunt, I think, are going to have both great games. I have to just pick one, and I've had Kareem Hunt before, so I'm just going to pick Ford for my nasty sleeper, Dave.
And I like that one because Ford actually got a majority of the carries this past week. He got twice as many carries as Hunt. So I like the Ford pick, actually. Like you said, I'm not a true believer in Denver just yet either, but Russell Wilson's starting to get a little bit of that magic back, but we'll see. Definitely.
Great stuff. All right. Did we miss anything?
No, I think that's it. Everyone have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy the football games and enjoy the time with the family.
That's right. Have a delicious Thanksgiving. Hope you get to eat a ton of food. And we'll be back before that, though, on Wednesday, actually. So the podcast will be coming out on Wednesday afternoon, right when we're done recording it with the Bear, Chris Felica. Everyone have a great rest of your week and go get some winners.